Hey YouTube, it's Dave Marley. I'm here to show you how to tune your guitar by ear. A few things to talk about before we get started. One is I want to make sure you know that my capo is on fret 2 because I usually have my guitar tuned down a whole step on all the strings. So if I capo 2, it's going to match what your guitar is normally at, just with standard tuning, with the low note being E. Okay, this tuning method will work where if the capo is anywhere on the neck, but the difference is as you're trying to listen for the vibrations between the notes, the vibrations will slightly increase slightly faster as you go up the neck with the capo. Okay, but it still works at any playable position with the capo. So as you go down the neck toward open, the vibrations between the notes is going to be a little bit slower. That's just the way equal temperament works. So again, I'm at standard tuning here with my capo here at 2 on my guitar. The principle we're going to be working with is the harmonic series of each note. If you play 2 strings, you're going to be listening for an intersection of vibrations from the harmonics of both strings. There are common intersections where they vibrate at the same place. That's where you hear a lot of that wah 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 between notes. Is the harmonic series intersections, and the greater they differ, the faster the vibrations are. Okay, the less they differ, the slower the vibrations are. Now with equal temperament, we actually have to account for a certain speed of vibration. We don't completely remove vibration for the most part, especially between the fourths that we're dealing with, between A and E, D and A, G and D. Those are all fourths, okay, on the guitar, and with the open strings. Also B to E on the top are also a fourth. Now fourths need to be wide, okay? If you have a perfect fourth, that means you're not accounting for a fifth. Okay, the fifth will be too narrow if a fourth is pure. Okay, so what we do is we actually have the fourth a little bit wide to accommodate for the fifth. Okay, the fifth needs to be slightly narrow, the fourth needs to be slightly wide. Okay, that's the basic principle. The fourth needs to be vibrating at about 1 cycle. Okay, that's a good place to start, and as you get really good at this, you'll be able to listen for how fast you can afford to let those vibrations happen. Sometimes you can get it even a little slower than a cycle, and that's where you start getting that extra harmonicity in the instrument and optimizing the intonation of the instrument. So it's really nice. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be listening for with my fourths. Okay, the first 3 tunings are going to be fourths, obviously. One more thing before I do that, I want to mention that if you want to be playing with other instruments, you need to make sure that your first note, your E, is tuned by a tuner, a tuning fork, or just by ear to the instrument that you're playing with, to make sure that you are not just in no man's land and not really in tune with the other instrument that you're playing with. If you're playing solo, it doesn't matter what it matches with, because it's not compared to anything else. But if you're trying to record or you're trying to play with a band, you need to make sure that the guitar is going to be in tune with the other instruments by making sure that your first note matches the first note, which is E, matches their E as well. Okay, so anyway, like I said, the principle works whether it's locked into a system of another instrument or if it's done solo. I'm just going to show you it solo right now. So here's a low E. Okay, I don't know if it's perfectly in tune with another E, but it's fine. It'll work either way. So here we go. E to A. I'm listening for a note that's 2 octaves higher than the lowest note of the fourth. So each time I do a fourth, the low note of the fourth, I'm listening for a note that's 2 octaves higher than that low note, and that's where the vibration is going to be between the 2 notes. So in this case, the low E is here. 1 octave is E, and then an octave higher than that is E. I'm listening for that note, the vibration at that note. Here we go. E, there. I'm going to bring it sharp to make sure that it's wide, and then I'm going to come down into where the note needs to be. Okay, so I have it about a cycle right now. It's very subtle. The challenge with this is being able to train your ear to tune out any of the other harmonic intersections going on between those two strings. Like I said, you're listening for 2 octaves above the low note of the fourth. The other intersections are going to be vibrating at a different rate than that. Okay, that's because of inharmonicity. Okay, inharmonicity, basically without getting too much into it, is that the harmonic series on a string is not perfect. Okay, I hate to break it to you if you think that you can tune a pure tuning on an instrument and wonder why do I still hear all these vibrations going on. That's because you might be tuning one of the intersections to a perfect, relationship, but there's other intersections that are going to be not matching that. So that's why you can't achieve pure tuning on a stringed instrument. Okay, that's why equal temperament actually is an advantage in a lot of ways, because you're optimizing harmony. All right, so I got that. The E to A is 1 cycle. Now I'm going from the D to the A fourth. Okay, bring it wide to make sure that it's going to be a wide fourth, and then I'm going to bring it down slowly. Slightly fast. Good. Do you hear that almost like a clock? Maybe even slightly slower. And that's good. Let's listen to the G to the D. Okay, good. All right, now I'm going to be going from the G to the E string, because what happens is you have these fourths, but now you have a third from your G to your B. So what you need to do is you need to get the E in tune with the G first, and then you can get the B in tune. So we'll start from the G to the E. Now I'm going to put the minimum amount of pressure on the third fret. Well, yeah, third fret from your nut if you're open. Okay, 3 frets up from wherever your capo is or wherever your nut is. Now there's a lot of vibration between the fundamental of this note and the harmonic of this note. So I'm going to find out where, if it's sharp or flat. First thing I'm going to do is raise the E string to see if it's a slower beat now or a faster beat, and that'll tell me if I'm sharp or flat. Okay, went up. Okay. The rate got faster, so I'm going to bring it down. Getting slower. Almost no pulses there at the fundamental of the G there. Okay, now I'm going to be listening to the open E to the first fret of the D, or second fret of the D string, which will give me an E octave I want to listen to now. Good. There's almost no pulses there at the fundamental of that open E, okay, compared to the harmonic of that low E. Okay, so I like where my E string is right now. It might need a little more tweaking, but it's very close right now. So I'm going to listen to. This is the trickiest part now. I'm going to be listening to a note that's 2 octaves higher than the open B, okay, for both the G and the E interval and the G and the B interval. Okay, I said that correctly. From the G to the E, I'm listening for a high B. Let's see if you can hear it. It's like... it's almost ringing like a telephone. Okay, now I'm going to listen from the G to the B for the same note. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is try to match the vibration from G to E and G to B. At that high B intersection, I'm going to try to get those vibrating at the same rate, which will give me a perfect fourth from the B to the E. And then after that, I'm going to decrease the vibration of the B string to get that wide fourth. They're about the same. Here's my second check. I can listen to the fourth and see what it sounds like. Very slow at that same note. There's still a little bit of a pulse there. So I've gotten in the ballpark. What I'm now going to do is listen to my G octave to the B string. As I push down harder on it, I can tell it starts getting faster. So I know it's already this B string is already too sharp. Now I'm going to tune the B string down just a little bit to compensate and try to see if I can get that octave at least within one cycle. That's good. I'm going to listen to my fifth. That's clean. It's almost pure. There's almost no vibration there. Let's listen to what the fourth sounds like. Pretty good. Let's listen to our E to our B now, fourth. Let's see what that sounds like. Great. It's about one cycle. Let's listen to the guitar now. Okay, that's an E chord. All right, let's listen to a C chord. Okay, let's listen to a G chord. This is how I play G. Okay, or this. Okay, let's listen to D. Okay, A. Okay, let's listen to F. Okay, so the guitar is in tune. Let's listen to it up the neck a little bit. Okay, let's listen. All right, what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, I'll tell you, it's a great advantage to be able to tune the guitar by ear. What happens if you don't have a tuner around? You know, how's the guitar going to sound if you can't develop a good ear tuning skill? So it took me years to do this. So you know, try to practice you know, tuning. Maybe take the first minute, you know, 10 minutes of your practice routine just trying to practice this method, and each day you might get better and better at it. All the while, you know, keep going back to your tuner to get going. You don't want to, you know, spend your whole day tuning, but you know, you do want to be able to develop the skill. So maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes trying it and seeing how close you can get by using this method. And you know, over time, it might actually be a skill that you have available to you, where you don't have a tuner around, but you can get that guitar sounding sweet. And now for me, even if I have a tuner around, I prefer my ear because I can get the guitar sounding more optimized. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'd be glad to answer them for you. Thanks. Have a good day.